Are you stuck at home in lockdown? Yeah, I know, we all are. Don't worry, we've got you covered because it's time once again for Live at Night with Pete Ferriero.
Don't you want to be like, I don't give a shit?
Send me your address.
It
I'll be
is.
happy to send you a copy.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. And so, and I paid for it. So that's just lovely. No.
I'm on, okay, what's that? I'm live at night.
Where whatever happens, happens. Now along with his special guests, here's your host, Pete Ferriero.
Hey, everybody. We're live at night on Facebook Live, and I've got a few of my friends here that are actors, and we're doing an actors roundtable to talk about how the coronavirus or COVID-19 or the horrific thing that the president says is affecting the acting world and your gigs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start with Jillian because I feel like she's the most together of all of us.
That's a horrible way. What the fuck was that?
I'm just kidding. No, you had some shows coming up. You do a thing on Monday, right? I'm not making that up.
Yeah, that's true. That's not happening for a while, but yeah, it runs every Monday.
So tell me about how this affected your shows and how this has affected your the virus, how it's affected your work and all the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, because I have that show. I'm not on every week, but it runs every Monday. And then I had another comedy show scheduled for March. So all the comedy theaters closed down, like the day before the big announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
You're a comedian?
Yeah.
What the hell? How am I just finding this out?
Hilarious. Can you tell?
I didn't get invited to any of your shows. That's why I'm asking.
Are you friends on Facebook? Because I will invite you.
Yeah.
When that happens.
So just naturally, we got a couple of more people joining us here, but just naturally, you're just naturally funny. So I thought you were, of course, I've always known you to be a comedian because you're very, yeah, Jillian, yes, yeah, yeah.
I'm not a stand-up, but I do a lot of improv, and I do musical improv and like comedy, like film and stuff.
Okay, we got Vin is here. Okay, he joined the room. That's what the laughter was, I guess.
Oh.
I'm hearing somebody's got us turned up. I feel like one of those old FM radio shows or AM radio shows. Somebody is turned up.
First time, long time, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna plug in.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm gonna plug in. What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, computer.
Oh, there you go. Nick can't get any volume. I don't know why.
You gotta press join with the audio.
Oh, you have to press. Yeah, that's it. Oh, maybe not. Let me message him that. Yeah, hold on.
Unless I guess.
Make sure you press join with audio. We're really off the rails already.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so that's how it's affecting your comedy schedule and your shows. You said that it just everything got shut down and canceled. That must have sucked.
Yeah, it did. We were in our one show on Monday was in a festival that Thursday night before everything shut down. That was canceled, and then I have a duo improv group, and we don't do shows like all the time, so we had like a big show planned, and that got canceled. So it's a bummer. I mean, what can we do though?
Yeah, and Nick is now joined us. Nick Ferraro.
Nick!
Hey guys.
What's up, Nicky?
Nick.
So technically,
Hello.
it took me forever to get on.
So you're worth the wait.
What's up, everybody?
Not much. It's good to see you, man. How have you been? How is this coronavirus affecting you, bro? I know we did another thing a while back. We didn't air it on Facebook, but how is this affecting you?
Like everybody, man. I'm going stir crazy. Like I said, I reread my script about another 50 times, rewrote it
right
time, shit like that. But I've been collaborating with a production company on it, and we're actually going to put together a sizzle when this is all done to promote it to get investors. So
That's a good idea, man. Yeah.
That's probably the best part about this deal is everybody is kind of reaching out to everybody else because now they have time to sit down and kind of hash some shit out.
Like if it was a typical, what is it, Friday? The 7 of us would not be talking. If this was like we would all be in our own worlds, doing our own thing, whatever that is, and we would not be chit-chatting with each other. So I feel like we're trying to become more social by having social distance, which is bizarre. Vin has some kids.
Shit.
Then you have some kids. So how is this affecting you and whatnot? And by the way, Chris and Vin both wrestle too. So in terms of the wrestling thing, did shows get canceled as well?
Yeah, we had a show tomorrow. Our biggest show of the year got canceled. Pretzelmania 4.
Wait, what is it? You call it Pretzelmania?
Yeah, Pretzelmania, baby. That's Pretzelmania 4.
And why do they call it Pretzelmania, Vin?
It was a spoof off of me and a guy who runs it. Well, when I was running it, we really like Office, and no day's better than Pretzel Day. So we wanted to have an event as an inside joke for all us.
Yeah.
It was Pretzelmania because it was right around WrestleMania.
Let me ask
people love it.
Let me ask you a question, man. Do you think that's a stupid question? What I just asked you? That wasn't a stupid question. That was a very educated, well thought out question.
It's a dumb name, really, but that's the point of it.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. Because somebody once told me it was a stupid question. Anyway,
the only stupid question is one's not asked.
Anyway, so talk to me about what's it like being trapped in the house with kids?
Well, I have 2 kids. I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old. I have 2 kids, and I have like a toddler who's like a 3-year-old, and then a baby who's a 1-year-old.
Oh
so it's like,
how many children do you have?
I have 4 kids, but like really, there's 2 kids that I have to school. I'm the gym teacher and the principal. My wife's everything else. I'm making them do laps. It's great. Push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jack. Yeah. I'm mean as hell. I give them detention. They're in detention right now.
Because you
mentioned the kitchen cabinet. Shut up in there. I'm on the phone.
Vin, you're a principal?
Yeah, I'm the principal. Right.
Dude, when someone comes in your office because they're bad, do you put them in like some wrestling hold or something? And like, how do you handle that?
Yes, I beat them with that. I beat them. I'm just shut up in there. I'm locking a cabinet
now,
right now.
how about you, Amy? I mean, Amy does quite a lot of commercial work and stuff like that. So, have you been able to do any shooting, or are you kind of doing nothing?
No, when this first started, I had to go to DC to shoot a national, and it was craziness. I I kind of pulled a diva move, and I was like, I told my agent, I was like, if I'm just really, what are you doing? You're making noise.
It's Vin. Yeah, Vin made all that noise. Yeah.
I called my agent and I was like, look, if I have to do this, I'm worried about my health, and if I have to take the train there, can they at least like bump me up to like business class so I'm around less people?
Sure.
And she was like, well, you could drive. They'll pay for your expenses. I was like, lady, I haven't driven a car in over 10 years. Like, I'm not driving to DC.
Yeah.
So they put me and the 2 other people in the commercial on the in business class on the way there, and they put us on the Acela on the way home. But it was so crazy. Like, no one was shaking hands when we were on set, but it was still like, it was a little worrisome because, like, hair and makeup's like right here.
Yeah.
But it was fine. There was no one in our hotel that night except like the 2 swans that they named like George and Martha. But I mean, it went well. I shot the commercial. I came home. I was supposed to have another shoot the next day, and that got canceled. And then I was supposed to have another shoot this week, and that got canceled. So
right.
now
so mostly everything is getting canceled now.
Yeah, I just had to do a voiceover from home.
Well, Pete, let me ask you a question, Pete. Obviously, you're a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
And, how do you feel about today not happening?
And I'm sure I'll let Nick jump in on that too. But I mean, it sucks, man. You know what I mean? We were supposed to go to a Mets Phillies game soon, right? I don't know. That's probably going to get pushed.
Yeah, it was in May.
I mean, I don't know. It's not happening.
So now, does that push everything else back? Like, is football going to start like later too?
Nah.
They haven't announced yet what the baseball's doing, right? I'm sure it's just going to be a shortened season, I would imagine.
Well, here's the thing. I saw Mike. Do you see Mike Trout talk yesterday?
I saw it, but I didn't watch it. So I saw it pop up.
Yeah, he said that once they finally get the go-ahead, it's going to take minimum 4 weeks for training because he said the pitchers are going to need at least 4 weeks, maybe 6. So if
that's silly. They should just go for it. You know what I mean? Like, there's way too many games as it is. I'm sorry. They don't need there's what was 164 games. There's way too many. Games.
There's just really not enough games in a season, I feel. So I
love that Jillian just looks bored.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
is it a sports round table or an acting round table?
Well, thank you. I mean,
exactly. What are we talking about here?
I was trying to shift it. I was waiting for them to finish, and then I was going to shift it. But let's go to Alex. Okay, how has it been affecting you in your world, in the acting world, and whatnot? You just got some business cards printed, and now you can't use them for anything.
Yeah. Yep, I printed those business cards, so I'm gonna have to give them out eventually, I guess. What I'm doing is I'm trying to make my own work at home. So I'm doing a lot of dance videos and posting them on Facebook just to cheer people up.
Man, I might have to get Facebook just for that.
I know. They're so cute.
And I'm writing some stuff I'm going to shoot on my own in my house and have a friend edit it. The same friend who made the video with me and Amy with no audio.
Right, he's really good.
That was such a good scene, and nothing ever happened of it.
It was so
audio.
Yeah, we did some good work there, but yeah, next time, I guess.
And Chris, I mean, we talked a little bit last night. You know, I feel like you and Jillian I just saw recently, but that's probably 2 months ago at this point.
No, it was February.
Was it February that happened? But because we shot some stuff together. But anyway, how about you in terms of you make this move? We talked about that earlier. You go to Orlando. You're gonna do you got some acting gigs lined up, and now is everything canceled for you, or what's up?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking, Pete. Everything so far has been postponed or delayed in one aspect or another. Therefore, when the opportunity does represent itself, God willing, and God bless, hopefully it's still there for me and for whomever else has the idea.
What's happening here?
I don't know. He went off.
He took
rogue.
He took that class that all football players take after they lost the game. They're like, "What do you feel?" Well, opportunities fell through.
Yeah.
We played good, we tried we were good, and it's gonna go good.
That one's
opportunity.
That one's on me. How about that one's on me, guys? That one's on me when they fucking blow it. Yeah. Cool. We still lost the game. How about in terms of? I know Nick, you said that you've been writing your script 100 times and all this stuff. Kind of doing some creative. Are you doing anything? Let's talk about that. Is anybody else writing things or like honing in on something that they had previously written or spending more time with it? I know I'm definitely doing that. Jillian's nodding. What are you doing?
Well, there was one script I wrote that I was in the middle of planning to shoot before this happened, but I think I told you I'm turning my musical I wrote into a series.
Which is brilliant. I can't wait to see what you come up with that. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. I'm really excited about that, but I wanted to get this other film done, but that's sort of on hold, so now I can focus on, I have the first 6 or 7 episodes written of season 1, so I have to finish that, and then I started thinking, because season 1 is basically the musical just broken up, because there's 7 songs, so then I had an idea for season 2, so I'm I have time to do that now.
Yeah, totally.
So that's good. I mean, I am working a little. I tutor, so I am working every day mostly, but I still have time to.
Oh, now are you, when you said you're tutoring, are you doing it all virtually now, or are you still going to the place? All virtual.
Yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing it online. Not the same amount I normally would, but it's something because I have nothing else going on. So
Is
it's
anybody
good.
else writing anything? Or Vin, I know you sent me some sketches and some ideas and stuff like that. What's that? How's that for you?
Yeah, I'm actually today. Actually, I took like 2 hours, and I just honed in after recess, and I just sat down and I wrote. I just threw everything else I had about that one pilot. I think I told you about. We were that one night about those the brothers, and they just lost their father. But it was a totally different scenario than yours.
Yeah.
And I just scrapped everything I had and just went really different with it, and I'm really liking it. I was laughing, so
good.
If I'm laughing, hopefully other people will laugh.
Definitely.
Actually, I'm going to send that to you, Pete, if you don't mind. I love to do something. I work better off with people.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else does that like that. If anybody wants to send me something, I can send them something. I work better off of people, like in a group.
Sure.
Just throwing that out there.
Definitely. I'm always open to reading. I know Nick sent me some stuff. I've sent him some stuff. Chris, we all send each other stuff, right?
Yeah,
Actually, the project that we all worked on together, actually, the Boys Club, or it's now called The Boys Will Be, I sent to Jillian first. And she was one of the first people to read it, and she sent me ideas and thoughts back. And
Or Abby.
I thought I was the first.
She was.
I was like the last.
I'm giving Jillian a compliment here that we did that.
Yes, you
I
didn't even
did
send it to me.
you, Alex.
I thought you sent it to me first.
Or Abby.
Abby got the short end of the stick.
Shit. No, I sent it to both Alex and Abby or Jillian first, and I wanted to make sure that the characters were being treated correctly. Jesus.
He sent it to 8 people first.
I was the last.
But Jillian is amazing, and Jillian
is amazing in this project. Absolutely. How did the coronavirus? Now, I'll tell you guys this. How did the coronavirus affect the Boys Club? Well, we got someone to score the movie, which is great. The movie's cut; it's ready to go, and we got someone to score it who is in Italy. So,
Jesus.
Oh no!
He's got the Wuhan breath all over it.
So what?
So I don't even know what that. I actually don't know what that means.
Is he okay?
But it's actually.
Is he okay?
He is okay. He is okay. He's doing well, but he's not in his normal studio, so he's working on things out of a different location because he got moved. They're in total quarantine and all this.
Is he the guy like on a balcony playing the piano?
What now? What is this? What are you asking about the man's coronavirus symptoms? But no, he's fine. He's
the guy on the balcony like playing the piano.
Oh, I got it. I got that.
Oh, that was sweet. That was really sweet, though.
What she said,
those images
you don't mean what she said. What's sweet is the actual person that did that, is what you meant in Italy. That beautiful song that they all did together.
Yeah, I was.
Yes. I'll say that was sweet one.
Yeah, so that was that sort of screwed that up. But I mean, all of productions are sort of like on hold at this point. I was surprised to hear that you shot something, Amy. But I guess some stuff. Maybe that was a little bit early on in this situation. Was that early on?
When the hell did I do that?
I had to shoot the day. It was like the morning of that Friday that they like shut everything down. I kept checking like for emails or texts that it was canceled, but it wasn't. It was in New Jersey, but it's still like no one was touching each other. People like elbowing instead of shaking hands.
I went the 14th and 15th of this month, so like a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the early part of. of this. For sure.
It was before like everything was shut down. I came back, and then the bar that I work at was like, "Yeah, we're closing down." I was like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, so that's affected you as well, your personal jobs as well, because all of you guys have other jobs outside of the acting world. Have all of those things been shut down as well, Amy?
Yeah, I am shipping dog food though.
Yeah, right. Amy taking a chance to plug her dog food company, which is awesome. Vin, you said yes or no?
No. I work in construction, and we are essential personnel. So.
Oof.
Oh, so you're working?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
That's good. Good for you, man. Right?
Good. Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question.
It doesn't sound like it's good. Wait, you're not going to take over the show, Nick.
It's a simple question. It was just a real quick.
Nick, what about you? Is your real job affected by this?
Yeah, big time. So I'm a Medicare consultant. That's how I make money, and I'm out there maybe 5, 6, 7 appointments a week, man. Now I'm like basically 1 a week, because I go to their homes, and sit down with people that are 5 and offer them a Medicare health plan. And the one appointment I had this week, she almost didn't want to see me. We had to sit outside. She was sitting at one end of her picnic table in her backyard. I was sitting at the other end. I mean, it's just crazy.
It is crazy. But I'll be honest with you. I'm doing a little bit of the same if I have to go somewhere. I'm not standing to people.
I had a notary come to my house, and she pulled up, and there was a table outside, and like I had my own pen, and like I had to put like a big paperweight. She's like, "Can I see your license?" And I just put it down, and I walked away. I don't want to get none of I know what it is. I'm scared, honestly, the long-term effects. Nobody really knows what it is and what it actually does to kids. They say it doesn't really bother them, but 2 months ago it wasn't contagious either.
And hey, we're live doing an actors roundtable. I don't know that we're talking about acting yet, but we will get into some of it. I'm gonna, if you guys have a question that are following us on Facebook Live, hey guys, we got like 6 people watching right now, so that's exciting.
Whoa.
Sweet. I mean, I don't know.
People that are just in the room here.
Was that?
The 6 people that are here.
Yeah.
Allison says hello. Hi, Allison. Dominic said, I sent it to him first. That he's talking about the boys club, and he told me to cut 4 pages, and I did. That is true. But I remember when I would send it to Jillian, I'd be like, I'm trying to get this shrunk down, and then I never would. So I don't know that it wound up being way longer than what it is. So it will be released soon. I'm hoping to release it on Amazon. That's my goal. But we have to wait until the score is done for sure.
Awesome.
Pete, my brother-in-law, man, he can still do it. I told you.
Very true. Very true. Well, the kid's good. He's working on it now. He's got maybe 6 or 7 songs done. He's got the last segment to do, and that's kind of where we are. But being in Italy, it screwed everything up.
Right.
But anyway. So let's talk about some acting stuff. And we'll just kind of go around to the table here. Let's go back to Jillian because I feel like I could trust her.
Again, what the fuck?
I'm just fucking with you guys.
Wow.
She's my safety zone.
No, I get it.
You know what I mean, right? Because you don't know what Alex is going to say. He's going to get offended about something quickly. You're going to try to take over the show. Chris is going to disappear. And Amy, who knows what's going to come out of you. My 2 safeties are Nick and Jillian.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, great. Shoot. What's your question?
I actually forgot the question.
Alex.
Maybe I'm not the one suited for this. Anyway, listen. What?
Can I ask?
Can I
ask my question?
Ben, you did have a question. Go ahead. Yeah.
So next time I see another actor, what do you think is going to be the new way of greeting people? Do you think we're going to go back to the handshakes, or do you think we're going to do elbows, maybe foreheads?
A foot shake.
ET.
Foot shake?
What do you think?
I think
cool with
total chest bump.
just waving.
No. No one's a foot shaker.
Foot touches?
A foot shake?
Like kitten play. Like kitten play.
Hi, Alex.
I'm
That works.
Next time I see him,
but
that's for sure.
even interacting, in scenes. Look, at some point, all of this is going to be okay, right?
Peter, how do Italians say hi to each other?
Kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
Both cheeks.
Oh, that's not going to work anymore.
This is why you're not in the safety zone for insulting entire ethnic, entire groups of people. Yeah. I mean, I do feel like a lot of that is going to be interesting and different. But like, when do you guys think? Do you guys have anything that you were scheduled to do that you were? I mean, I know you talked about your show, Jillian, but was there anything that you guys were scheduled to do that you were looking forward to doing, and now is sort of off the table, and you don't know if it's going to come back, that kind of thing?
Mhm.
Go ahead, Jillian. I think you were nodding.
Who, me? What?
I said, was there something that you were like, hey, this is going to happen. I'm working on this thing. We got this project, and now like it's not going to like, and you don't even know if it's ever going to happen now because the window's been missed, or this virus, and who knows when everyone's getting back into action.
Right. I mean, for me, it's things that I can still do. So it's not like a festival that's you have to wait a year for. Thank goodness I did.
That's what I was kind of going with.
Last year, like, because a lot of them were getting canceled. But no, I mean, I feel like it's just pushed things back for me. I can still stuff, but I feel like they're still going to happen.
How about you, Amy? I went to your square. Let's see.
Sorry, I'm like dinner. No, like all my stuff is still just there. It's just been postponed. Mm-hmm. Like I still have the car commercial every month. We're just waiting until I don't infect people to shoot that again.
Well, you infect me in a good way whenever we work together. So.
Oh, bless your heart.
That's sweet. That's another sweet thing. That's two sweet things. That's two sweet things. Well, I got a kind of a silver lining if anybody's interested.
Oh, cool. Yeah, hit us with a silver lining.
Well, the silver lining is everybody is doing the same thing, and creative people will create, right? So there's going to be so many, I think, opportunities coming out of this thing. I think there's going to be just a wave of stuff happening for like another 3-6 months because entertainment never took 6 months off in the last 100 years.
Sure. I agree.
I mean,
and I had some projects that were
great opportunities
that were, at places and all this kind of stuff. And that all is on a freeze as well now. So that's the frustrating part, I think, for creatives that have been working on something for a long time previous and had some setbacks just in general. And then, of course, now this happens and it sets it back even a little bit further. I'm thinking of you too, Nick, with that. You've had this whole project going with this project that you wrote, and you got the group together to start pushing it, and now it's going to be sort of held back even longer than what you expected, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, me personally, I just right before this whole thing happened, that I auditioned for an agent, and they're going to represent me. And we were just in the process of getting things done. And I got new headshots, which, by the way, I just got it in the mail.
Let's take a look.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. We love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, look how handsome.
What do you think of it?
Really well done.
Hi, everybody. Hey.
Oh, so handsome.
But,
Those are good.
But so anyway, that was, I'm like half freaking out in a way because it went really well. She was all excited to work with me, and they're the biggest in the Philly, Jersey area. Like they booked my cousin on that show that's on AMC with what the hell's his name? Jason.
Ozark?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say the new season just came out.
Yeah.
This is a brand new show. It's the first season.
It's on AMC. You guys are saying Ozark. That's on Netflix. He said AMC.
AMC.
Jason
Siegel.
Jason.
But anyway, she told me that she was gonna book. She was definitely going to book me for sure, and now everything's at a halt. So that was really the biggest thing.
Man.
Yeah. That was the biggest thing.
Vin, I don't know if you guys are all aware of what Three's Company is. Do you guys know what that is? An old television show from the 70s? I bet you Jillian doesn't know it.
Like millennials, we know this stuff.
Alex, have you ever heard of the show?
Oh yeah, he's
Of
made.
course. No, I used to watch it all the time. My mom.
I heard a theory about that show.
You heard of what?
That what's his face was gay. His character was gay. And that's why he lived with the girls, and every time Mr. Roper came over, they had to hide it because he was gay.
What?
They told him he was gay because otherwise he couldn't.
That was the premise. Yeah, that
No.
was what it was about.
Mind blown. Didn't know that when I was watching it.
Like they
You were a
tell
kid, maybe. I mean, yeah, no, that was out there. I think that was pretty. That's not a spoiler. Everybody who's watching, is like, and
New to me. It's new theory to me. I didn't know his character was gay when I watched it. Probably because
Okay.
Well, he's not. He lied.
no, from episode 1 to the last one, that was the show. What the fuck? It literally was brought up in every fucking episode of the show. You know, I mean, what the. You see now why she's not safe zone?
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Just
over there.
All right.
Wait, what's going on? Wait, Chris, what's up, bro?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I was just talking to my girlfriend. Go on. Down.
You actors.
Wow. You are going to be single after this.
Okay. Anyway, myself, Chris, and Vin all did a TV sitcom seminar with the guy that played Larry on Three's Company.
Oh wow!
Who's Richard Klein, and we all had very, very, very fun experiences with that. I was going to ask you, Vin, what do you think Richard Klein is? He like, I'm fucked, because you know he's.
Yeah,
you know, he's not doing much. You know, and I know he's your friend, so I love him. I think he's a wonderful human being, but he's not doing much. But he does have that class that we all attended, so he got us.
Actually,
oh, you do know?
I went with him.
Oh,
I contacted him, kind of like I think in January. I emailed him just to see I wanted to workshop some stuff with him, just take a couple more courses because you can just go there per diem, just go there and read some stuff for him and he can fine tune it for you, just keep you loose.
Chris
and he said he said he wouldn't do nothing until the summertime anyway. So I don't know where he is. And the worst part is I think he was in Italy. I think he winters in Italy.
We don't want to lose Richard Klein in all this. You know what I mean? That would be sad. Poor Richard Klein.
You know somebody.
But it was a fun class. But Chris and I were not offered all that special extra activity, so you probably really impressed him.
He was I think he's just a really funny guy. I mean, have the same type of sense of humor. And I think the stuff he did was funny when he wasn't trying to be funny. When somebody was when somebody's bad,
yeah,
boy, he wasn't how when you're bad, somebody goes to be like, okay, and then they try to give you build you up and feed you a bunch of poor shit.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, they always start out the kind of the same way, they try to collect their thoughts. He was all more like, horseshit, what is this? What the fuck? Or somebody's mumbling, he's like, I got $10,000 implants on my ears. I can't hear a goddamn word you're saying.
It is like that. He's also very much that character. I mean, he's not the not the player, not the whole ladies' man thing from the show, but he is very much. I mean, he might be. I just don't know that side of him, but he is very much that actor, all that kind of Three's Company stuff. We were in one class, and one of the classes towards the end, and he was taking attendance, which was so weird to watch Richard Klein take attendance. He would do it like old school teachers, sort of. And there was this one guy, Dan, who was a stand-up comedian. And Dan had I'll be honest with you, and Dan might be watching this, sorry, but he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he was a comedian at the Broadway Comedy Club where the classes were, and he didn't necessarily need this class because Richard Klein sometimes would show up late. That happened and whatnot. So Dan was missing. And so Richard Klein was taking attendance, and he said whatever Dan and whatever his last name was, and Dan didn't answer. He goes, and Richard Klein went, "Fuck him," right? So we all bursted out in laughter. Cut to there's no better Three's Company moment than 5 minutes later, Dan entered the room.
Yeah,
Richard Klein went, "Oh boy," he did that. I was like, motherfucker, this is a live Three's Company. You're never gonna, see anything better than this. Yeah.
I just remembered a story from when I went to William Esper Studio, and when Vinny was talking about how they say that when you're bad, they give you some constructive criticism. I had one. I had one teacher who I was bad this time, like really bad, terrible. I did a terrible job, and she goes, "Stop, stop, stop." She's like, she knew that I had a fascination with Nicolas Cage, that I liked to watch Nicolas Cage movies for fun.
Change the topic.
Yeah, but she just stopped, and she was just like, this fucking Nicolas Cage fucking shit acting. And I was crying. I was crying.
All right. I'm sure you've all done some training or got directed somewhere along the way. Going off of Alex and Vin's story, has anybody said anything like that to you? Or adversely, has anybody said something that you really well, let's go with, has anything said something like that to you, or where you were like, oh shit, I guess that wasn't so good? We'll go to Amy.
Oh, I got a good one. I got a good one. So I was at William Esper too, and I had this teacher, and bless her heart, she really just wanted to break me down, to break down my walls. And she was like, what do you want to be in sitcoms the rest of your life? And all I kept thinking is, do you really think I could?
Someone is ringing. Okay, it's okay.
She literally was like, what do you want to do, sitcoms the rest of your life?
Wow.
Sure.
I literally was just like, oh my God, that would be sorry.
Now this is a Three's Company moment right now. It happened twice. It's Jillian's
phone.
Oh my God.
It's so popular.
It's Jillian's phone, and every time Amy hits her punchline, Jillian's phone goes off.
A little bit, okay.
He fucking intercepts me.
Fucking great. Yeah.
What a fucking cock block. So anyway.
What did she say? Do you want to be in sitcoms? I'm sorry. Now it's not as funny. Fuck.
Now it's not funny. She was
all
like,
right, Jillian, you're in the safe zone. You're no longer in the safe zone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Poor Abby.
She was like, oh my God, what do you want to, she was telling me I was bad, and she was like, oh, the best work you're going to get is sitcoms. And all I kept thinking is, oh my God, Big Bang Theory, where those actors make $1 million an episode. I was like, yeah, sign me the fuck up.
Yeah, really.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, oh my God, you think I'm so bad I could do sitcoms? That would be amazing. That was in my head, I'm going, oh my God, that would be my dream job. Like,
what do you want to do? Do this for a living?
I don't want to do theater. Ugh. No, sign me up for TV.
Okay, we got it. Let's go to Nick on that. What's your answer on that? Has anybody said something where you were like, fucking guy?
I think I was criticized all the time. No, I don't know. I wasn't. No one freaked out on me. By the way, my wife had just entered. Wanted to say hi, Dorothy.
Dorothy, what's up?
This is my wife, Dorothy.
Hi guys. Oh, hello.
Hello, Dorothy.
Actually, Pete has us connected worldwide, and there's 1.2 million people actually watching. Seriously.
Get out.
No, seriously.
Yeah, we're live.
Say hello to the world.
Yeah.
Say hello to the world.
Hello, world.
Oh man.
We had 2 of our 5 grandchildren tonight. She just dropped them back off.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
But to answer your question, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Hello.
It was always constructive criticism. I think looking back, none of the acting teachers I had ever freaked out on me. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
They were all just very, very helpful, man. I had some really good teachers, mentors, that really helped me. So sorry to be boring.
No, that's okay. How about you, Jillian?
Yeah, I haven't had anything that really sticks out. I guess the thing that came to mind was I had a director we didn't have rehearsal. I just came on set and we started shooting the scene. He cut and he was like, can you say it like you're not just saying the lines?
That's a harsh one.
Yeah, it was not the best directing experience. He didn't tell me what he wanted. He just was like, we're rolling.
Oh my God, I just had that.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fun, for me. Maybe other people are fine with that, but I just, had no direction. So
It's tough. That's always tough. Chris, what about you on that? I'm sure it's something that said to you like a dick.
Nothing really comes to mind right now. But if anything does, I'll get back to you.
Thank you. Well, we'll look forward to that.
That's the way I answer every email. I don't really know about that right now, but let me get back to you on that.
I think one time no one asked me, but I'll just jump in. I think one time I did a national parks commercial and I played a hot dog vendor, and I was at a Met game. I was at a Met game the day before, and they sent me the details of the script, and it was like, like a typical Italian fucking hot dog vendor in front of some national park, and so they sent me the script, and it was like fucking so many fucking pages. Like it was just like, and there was not like any improv. You know what I mean? So, and I'm so bombed at the Met game. I was like, what the fuck? How the fuck is this going to happen? This is
literally just happened to me.
I'm like, this is never going to happen. I'm never going to remember this. It's no way. Like, I'm looking at it, and it's not like fucking normal shit. It's like, you have to go down. Like, I'm saying it in this accent, and I got to, but it's specific shit in the parks. You know what I mean? It's not like fucking just like easy shit to remember or whatever. And that was challenging. But then they gave me another page like that I was like, and they were like, hey, there's one more page here. You know what I mean? On set. And now I'm like memorizing it while I'm there. It was very fucking challenging, but nobody gave me, the director was like, he kept on doing the apology thing, like, I'm really sorry. I know we're throwing it. I know it's a curveball.
You asked for more money.
But don't fucking do it. Like, but if you know it's fucked up.
Yeah.
More money.
Like people, and my agent sent one page, memorized it, and then I showed up, and they were like, "Oh, so you have the 6 pages?" And I was like, "No, I have 1 page."
Right.
And it was 1 out of like 6 pages, and I asked my agent, I was like, "Did you where is this other script?" So I had to learn it. I had to memorize it in chunks on set, and they were really great about it. And I don't know what happened because my agent was like, "I only got the 1 script I sent you," but yeah, it was crazy. It was full.
It's intense, man. It's really intense, and I can't really people say to me how do you memorize lines and all that, and I don't really have I just do it. You know what I mean? I don't really know what the process of that is, but that particular experience was super intense. Like when Nick and I worked in the in that film Backfire that's on Netflix that you can catch out tonight. If you're not doing anything and you'd like to catch
That was one hell of a
now we got why this whole thing's happening.
No.
2.2 million people are on now. All of a sudden, talk about Backdraft or whatever it was.
What is it? What is it? Backfire. Yeah. So you can catch Backfire on Netflix tonight if you're looking for something to watch. You can see me and Nick kill a little girl. Well, we'll let you.
I watched it.
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
I watched it. You were great in it. You guys were great.
Thank you. We're getting very heavily criticized online, but I think it was phenomenal. So I don't give a shit.
Pete, our off-camera stories are better than the movie itself, I think.
I think Dave Patton and Black De Niro did a wonderful job. No.
No, they did. No, man, the movie was good. But I mean,
yeah,
Well,
I know what you mean. We had a lot of fun making it, is what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And then one night we were sitting in the car at 10 at night, scared to get out of our car. Sorry, babe.
Yeah, we were in a bad location, but anyway, my point was when we did that movie, we had a lot of room to improv. They almost wanted us to just go with who the characters were and sort of develop those characters inside of their world and let us kind of play with it. And I always find that works a little bit better because then you have a little bit of freedom to sort of play with the words and play with the characters, whereas like that script of the hot dog vendor, that was really hard. And also they never aired that and they couldn't get the footage. I was like, I just would love this hot dog vendor demo. You know what I mean? Like I would love to put it in my reel, like a jerk off, And like everybody else that wants something for the real, but like they wouldn't give it to me. Anyway, Vin.
I'm still waiting for my footage from,
I have no idea. Anyway, Vin, go ahead. What was your question?
Well, let me ask you a question, right? So you have Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all these streaming services constantly looking for new content. They're constantly looking for. So now everything's on hold, right?
Yes.
Do you think this is better for, say, something like the Uncle Jerry show, which possibly maybe they want to start taking up now since it's already done and they have everything going? So as soon as the Wuhan breath goes away.
Not specifically Uncle Jerry show, because Uncle Jerry show only has a pilot, and I got to get Clark on here at some point to air this in case he's watching. But I would say for Her Name is Chef, that's possible. I would say because the 6 episodes are already made, and I think it could be on tomorrow for sure. Chris, did you ever have an experience where you worked on a project and the script was really challenging or anything like that?
I don't think so. No.
Really?
No, I've enjoyed every project I've been on. I've tried my best to jump into them. It takes me some time, sure, and whether it's jet lag or just trying to get into the character itself. But since I do a lot of traveling and whatnot, because I live in Florida now, and most of my work is in New York City or the tri-state area. So when I do get there, I have to get my mind right and my head right and everything else. Most importantly, my back right, because I have a lot of back pain.
He does that. I do know that's
Wait,
true.
you live in Florida? Where in Florida?
Orlando.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead. You have a question, but I wanted to ask Alex that question. But go ahead.
Have you seen the movie The Florida Project?
Mm-hmm.
It's on Amazon Prime.
The Florida Project. Okay. Well, he'll probably look that up
it's
as soon as he
basically
can.
about nothing except like these people that live in Orlando and they're really friggin' poor and they live in a hotel and they're all hot messes.
That's Chris. That's Chris. That's Chris right now.
Yeah, I was in season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. What was your question? What was Chris? You had a question.
You could ask Alex his first.
Go ahead, Alex. So what about you in terms of memorization and really fucking like, oh my God, this is going to be, how the fuck am I going to get through this?
I had, it was more of a play I worked on that was very challenging. It was called The Freedman, and it was about 2 art dealers and their fuck ups. They fuck up like a $1 million painting during the show. And they have a boss who's just a drunk and like a pill popper, and it was a cool play, but the script was very, very long. It was an enjoyable challenge. I like challenges. I love challenges. That's why, yeah.
Well, I will tell you that I remember we cast Alex in something. We did a web series a while back called The Best Web Series Ever. With a hashtag best web series.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, and Chris and Alex were best friends in the project,
and in real life,
and we had to. And Alex, we wrote a scene for Alex to. They were just 2 guys going playing a little basketball, and boy, was that a fucking struggle.
Okay. That was the most challenging role I've ever had in my life because I can't fucking play basketball. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So this play and this.
Poor Alex.
Yeah. We're just busting.
Poor Abby.
No Oscar, too. No Oscar.
That's okay. And maybe for Chris, I remember giving you. When we were doing OMG for Pete's Sake, I remember you came in maybe a couple of days before we sent you a script, and it was just so purposely wordy. And you were like, wow, all right, wow, fuck, wow, all right, no, I got it. Anyway, what was your question?
All right, I want to know from everyone. this is a roundtable discussion. What do you guys watch, and females, what do you watch to get re-inspired to act?
Oh, that's
who do you watch?
Great.
What do you watch?
What a great! I didn't know where you were going to go with that. Good question. Since Amy seems confused by it, we'll go to the safe zone and go to Jillian.
Am I safe again?
Yeah.
Cool.
You're always safe, Jillian. I don't know.
I don't know if this is good or bad. Yeah, I never feel like, oh, I hate acting, I need to be re-inspired, but I like watching things that are close to what I want to make. So like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is similar to what I'm writing because it's a musical series. So shows like that, or shows that are like dramedy, like not just one genre.
Right.
A little bit, because that's like what I want to do, right? And what I like.
So in terms of writing, I would say you're saying that you, or if you're doing a project that is similar to a role that you're taking on, you might watch a little bit of that same genre. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Although I have to say I've never consciously thought that, like, oh, I need to watch more of this. I don't know. So I just watch like what I feel like watching, but I always am thinking like with the actor brain. So I don't think it matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How about you, Amy? I'll go to you now since you seemed a little more clear on the question.
I just finished my wine. That was all that I was thinking. No, I watch a lot of different things on TV. Like I was obsessed with Tiger King.
Nice.
Never heard of it.
What?
But hold up.
Oh
Just to refocus the question. It's for inspiration on
Yeah. Hey, Pete, don't judge. Tiger King is very inspirational.
No. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying to maybe, I think he was talking about actors or projects or things of that nature. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that maybe this Tiger King is something that you definitely are inspired by. I don't know.
Tiger King? Have you not seen it? It's going to get turned into a movie. It's that fucking good.
Show, right? Isn't it like a
I have not seen it. I have not seen it, and I have no interest in seeing it, and I don't like it being talked about on my show. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
We're going to talk about it for a second because reality is no longer real reality.
That's fair enough. I agree with that. I agree with that comment. Yeah.
Even documentaries, like it's all like you film a bunch of stuff and then you put it on TV, like you chop it up and you put the bits that are going to be the most exciting and the most like, you know, it's not real reality anymore. Nothing is real.
Hey, I watched The Bachelor. I understand, but
did you see Love Is Blind?
It did.
Let's get back to the topic.
Pete, how about this? I got it, Pete. I'd say starting out when I was a kid, The Godfather 1, for me, 100%. Watching Michael Corleone's like arc in that movie is awesome. When they just pan into him and he says he'll kill everybody is one of the best scenes of all time. And modern right now, as an adult, it's Horace and Pete.
Okay.
It's a very good show. I don't know if anybody's. I
have not. I've heard of that.
I gave Rockwell a flash drive on it to watch, but he lost it.
It's illegal. That we can't promote that. That's illegal.
I mean, I didn't do that, but if I did, I'd be a good friend. And Rockwell lost it, he'd be a bad friend.
Nick, what about you?
Well, I guess I don't know if everybody. It's not quite inspiring, but just every show I watch, I just try. I'm like a sponge, you know. I try and learn, you know, and I look and see things, and I try and pick movies that are. I guess I'm being somewhat typecasted as a gangster. So I do see a lot of in all the gangster movies to take a look at all the characters and how they act and that type of thing. But you guys, I'm sure, seen The Green Book.
I haven't seen that yet, no, but I'm sure some of these other people have. Yes, no?
Wow.
Jillian, have
tremendous.
You seen it?
The Green Book. Anybody? The Green Book?
Yeah,
Alex,
fantastic.
Alex nodded.
Oh, I'm just nodding because I know of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a tremendous movie. And The Driver, every time I see it, which is now probably like 15 times, I look at my wife every time and go, that's me. Like, I wish I had that role. Like, I love that role. That's me. Yeah. And so when you see it, The Driver, but that's,
okay.
I don't know what he does and everything.
Fires Everywhere. Did anybody watch that?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Little Fires Everywhere.
I have
It's
not
Kerry
seen.
Washington. It's Reese Witherspoon, and Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington produced it. It's so good. It's based off the book.
Have to give that a look. Alex. Nicholas Cage?
No. I'm Nicolas Cage is just a guilty pleasure.
Okay, I love Nicolas Cage movies. By the way, my favorite Nicolas Cage movie is The Family Man.
That is great film. Great film. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think you're right. That's underrated.
There's some movies. There's some movies in his past that he's done where he's doing great work, and now he's crazy. But I mean,
all right. So we got Alex's Nicolas Cage. And I'm just
no.
Moving on.
In terms of the actors that inspire me that I'll watch over and over, now they're not like Nick. Nick will watch someone, be inspired by someone who's like him. I'll watch a mix of both. Like I'll watch Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. I'll watch Steve Buscemi, me. And then I'll watch Tom Hardy, Daniel Day-Lewis, and There Will Be Blood. I'll watch, DiCaprio, and I'll watch all of them and just take what they're doing that's like fantastic and their work. And I'll, just when you see it, you're like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do it the way he's doing it. And you start learning little things here and there you get from all of them. So those are the actors I'll look at. And there's more. There's Sam Rockwell. He's chameleon, he does everything, and that's something that I want to do. And then the movies I'll watch over and over to be inspired would be Dumb and Dumber. I'll watch over and over. I'll watch it because there's a lot of great acting in it, even though it's stupid. It's fantastic. I'll watch There Will Be Blood. I mentioned I'll watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Love that.
Over and over.
Yeah.
The Office I'll watch over and over.
I'm gonna go with Jillian's answer to a degree. I feel like obviously I write a lot of my own stuff too, so I guess Jillian and I probably both do that, right? We're writing a lot of characters and whatnot. So I think sometimes I write a character and I'll like for example, in The Boys Will Be, I'll write a character and say, okay, I think he's sort of he's sort of this person. So then I'll start watching a lot of that person for that particular movie. I watched a lot of Beverly Hills 90210 and watched Luke Perry for my character that was Jack in that to try to get his sort of mannerisms and whatnot. But by the same token, I've tried to bring a little bit something different to it too. This was Chris's question, so I answered it. But I think your answer though, Jillian, is somewhat right that each character brings something different out of it, right? So if you read something, you're like, okay, this feels you're trying to always find the voice of the character. So sometimes you'll watch stuff that is, of the like-minded character as you're starting to put the pieces together, and then you'll just kind of find it, you know what I mean? Based on a lot of things. Okay, Chris, now, do you have an answer to that question, though, before you ask your next question?
Oh, yeah, I do. But I wasn't asking to.
No, I would like. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like Leslie Nielsen a lot. So everything he does is fantastic. The guy from Naked Gun.
Yes.
Yes. Also, Jerry
man, he was
Lewis
a good series actor back in the day.
He was, yeah, absolutely. And thank you. We appreciate that. I've been watching recently the Dick. I think his name's Dick Cavett or Dick Cavett.
Yeah, Dick Cavett. Yeah.
He's been watching the
Dick Cavett show, and I don't know why that's been giving me inspiration. He interviews some real cool rock stars. I have another question.
Well, the John Lennon interview is incredible. John Lennon on Dick Cavett.
Yes.
Everyone's got to YouTube that. That's fucking amazing. Yeah.
Okay, I got another round of questions.
Oh boy.
So what was it for you guys that made you say, "Hey, I wanted to jump into the acting world"? What was the deciding?
I love this question. Fuck.
No,
I was not prepared with any questions. All right, let's go to Alex.
What made me jump in?
No, Alex, I don't want you to answer it.
Oh. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to pinpoint actually when and where, because like I always like doing it. So it's I don't know, it's tough. My mom got me into it. She didn't like the fact that I was home and alone all the time and I was antisocial.
So you're saying Macaulay Culkin?
Be like in the bathroom, like with the door shut for a long time?
Well, just spend a lot of time at home, Amy, like doing Legos and stuff like that. And my mom put me into, when I was 13, she put me into the Brooklyn Music Conservatory of Music. And they just made me do things that I was afraid to do. And then I just fell in love with it there.
Whoa.
Yeah, they touched me
No.
in a way that I've never been touched before.
Michael Jackson here. It's funny when Chris, when you asked that question, who were the influences? I was going to go. I would say I was going to name everybody that was just accused of something. Anyway,
now that we're coming out, I just wanted to say that on
coming out.
No.
Definitely.
Man,
coming out. You're coming out. You're coming out.
I'm so happy for Alex. Come on, Alex. Good job, Alex.
Not in that way.
Oh my God.
On the set of Peter's last film, The Boys Will Be, when we shot that together, Chris actually he did something that was inappropriate.
What did you do? Oh my God! Come on, you're gonna do this live? What?
He told me that I'm really great and I'm a nice guy, and I didn't like that. So.
Oh,
yeah.
True.
All right, but to that question, I'm going to ask that question now that Chris asked about when did you decide to do this? To Nick Ferriero. I know you got a good answer on this.
Tell you.
Actually, it was early on, man. 2 shows and 2 characters. It was The Honeymooners and Jackie Gleason.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
And the Carol Burnett show.
Oh, good.
Tim Conway. Conway. He more so than anyone.
I will give.
I don't know.
I will give Gleason a run
because of his improv and the way he just made shit up on the show, which is like sort of unheard of at the time. With live TV there. I mean, not live TV, but just what he did and how he made everybody crack up because he would say shit that wasn't in the script.
Yeah.
And it just touched me in a way, man. I was like, man, that's so cool. Like the way he did it. And I'll tell you what, when he passed, man, I was hurt.
Yeah.
It really affected me when he passed away because I always wanted to one day meet him, tell him that, that he really inspired me to be an actor.
I will also agree with Jackie Gleason. In terms of, I think of the character Uncle Jerry, but back to Jillian's answer that I always look for somebody to be the inspiration. I would think Gleason was a little bit of an influence on the Uncle Jerry character. But what about the other question that Chris asked? When did you know that you wanted to do this?
Who, me?
Yeah.
2nd grade when my teacher picked me to play Joseph in the Christmas Christmas play, man, and I just dug it. And then from that moment on,
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Oh, that's so cute.
Mine was high school. Something similar in high school. Someone told me to go out for the play. Jen Posley, I don't know, but she's watching. She said you should really go out for it, and I went out for it, and then I got a really great part, and I really loved it, and I went and did all the stuff, and wanted to just be a part of that world. Amy, how about you?
I actually didn't think about acting until I came back from doing a show. I started off musical theater. And I was a dancer, and I came back from doing a show out of town, and I was looking for a Broadway agent to get auditions for Broadway shows. And I wound up with a commercial agent, and I went out for TV shows, and I went out for a bunch of commercials, and I started booking stuff, and I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. I was like, I don't have to be in the chorus. Like, and they let me talk on camera. This is amazing. And then that's when I kind of fell in love with it. And then I was like, shit, I better like go to acting school before people figure out that I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
And
yeah.
I kind of fell in love with it ever since that.
How about you, Jillian?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember a time when I was just always like, oh, I'm going to be an actor, like, since I was born, I think. I remember I made, like, business cards when I was, like, 7. It was really big, so singer/actor. Like, it's just, I think it was, like, as a kid, like, to get, like, not to get too deep, but to get away from any trauma in my childhood, it was another world I could go to, whether I was singing or, like, in my room acting. So it was just, like, my comfort zone. So it was just always what I was gonna do, and it was just it just never changed.
I think we probably all could speak to that a little bit. What about you, Vin?
My mom put me in acting when I was like in 2nd grade because I would get into a lot of trouble, and I'd always kind of like BS my way out of it. And one teacher said you should put him in acting class because he's always kind of, you know, like I'd find somebody and I'd be the person they want me to be so I don't have to be in trouble. And my first play I was in was Hook. And I had one line, and the line was, I could have shot him. Now, I come from a big Italian family. You know, there's a million people at the house all day long. So all you got to hear is, you're going to be in a play. And they said, what's your line? I say, well, my line is, I could have shot him. And the first thing they say is, nah. There is no small parts, only small actors. You guys used to say, I should have shot him when I had the chance. Hook, you're always holding me back. And it went on for months. So by the time it got to me up there, now it's like, here comes my line. And I go, I should have shot him when I had the chance. And it's just, you know, you make people happy, and it's fun that way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Chris, you asked that question. Do you have an answer to that question? When did you know you wanted to do this?
Okay. Two things real quick. When I was in 4th grade, Nickelodeon came to my school and interviewed a bunch of the students for like the Nick Choice Awards. And the final commercial wound up using me. So I got to see myself on television at a young age. And so I think
that's why he's so arrogant.
They asked me, like, who's your favorite singer? And I said, Coolio. And they're like, why? And I was like, because he's cool. And that's what they used. That's what they used. And I got to see it on TV, and everyone got excited about it. My mom never saw it. And the second thing was, it comes from a David Bowie song. It's from Starman, where he says, fluid from a faucet may never sink. And I always thought that was like equivalent to acting. You know, like you could be there, you could be present, and if nobody sees you, are you even there? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm. That is very profound.
Very profound. Very, very, very profound. Okay. I thought that was
that's like he just like dropped the mic and walked away.
Sorry, I had to let.
What he had to say, he's like, see you, I'm out.
It's actually brilliant. Yeah, very brilliant. You got any more fun actor questions that you want to ask the group?
I know.
Yeah. What's everyone's favorite genre of movie or television, and what is the one that stands out to you in that genre?
Oh, cool. That's a great question. Let's go to Jillian.
That's a safe one.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of already talked about this, that I love dramedy, where it can make me laugh and cry in the same episode. So there are a lot of great examples. But Parenthood is probably my favorite series in that genre. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amy.
Gosh, I watch a lot of different things. I basically watch everything. So I watch everything from like comedies to drama to reality. I got a lot of time to kill now. So I literally watch everything. I watch a lot of British TV shows too. It's really bizarre, but
that's cool.
You know.
Nick?
Yeah, I definitely have to say dramedy as well. You know, I love just a real great movie, serious movie, great acting, and then throughout it, you know, there's those funny moments. You know, that's what I really like.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. I would also agree with dramedy. I hate to. I mean, obviously, I love comedies, obviously on their own, right? But I do gravitate to a lot more. I mean, I think we probably all do, right? To dramas, you know, like just in general, and when we learn the most or grow the most as actors, it's never, I mean, sure, there's some comedies where you're like, oh, that was really funny, I'd love to do something like that, but for the most part, I think where we probably all grow is from some powerful performance. Like, I thought Adam Driver in Marriage Story was fucking amazing, and back to Chris's question, I would say Adam Driver should be an influence on all on actors and whatnot.
Who's that now? Who's Adam Driver?
Marriage Story, yeah.
And Star Wars, he was the
Kylo
Ren.
And the one before that with the chick that always gets naked, that no one wanted to see. Girl. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And for you, Alex, on that question that Chris had asked?
Right. That's what it was.
I love, like you said, Peter. I hate to repeat myself too, but dramedy is great. But I love drama, like heavy, dark, like everything, like Breaking Bad. You know, Breaking Bad type drama. I don't know what else. I can't think of anything right now. But Chris, I know Chris is watching Kidding.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that.
Good, yeah.
It's funny, but it's very dark, very also depressing, but it's a mix of a lot of things. And I like that mix because, you know, life is like that. It's a mix of, oh, this is really funny and this is fucked up. Like we're making, you know, we make jokes of whatever's going on yesterday, and, you know, and then, but then at the same time, it's like, oh, this is dark. And I don't know. I really like that mix. I'm also watching, I really like that show. Well, the season didn't come out yet, the new one, but Peaky Blinders.
Oh my God!
Very good.
I'm
my God,
you
and Amy should watch TV together. You guys would be
we should review shows, but that's a great show because Tom Hardy's in there, and he plays the Jewish mobster Alfie, and he's fantastic, and everyone's great in it. Everyone's great in that. Not one bad actor in that show.
All right, so there's a couple comments made here. I'm just gonna read these, and then we're gonna get to Vin's answer on that question. Somebody says, Hillary Russo, hi. Tucci and Turturro are two of the best actors. They morph like no one.
Yeah, Turturro especially.
Definitely. So that was a statement made. And Vin, your answer on that? And if you have a question for any of our
same one.
If you have any questions for any of our actors, feel free to send that through here on Facebook Live. But go ahead, Vin. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
It's funny because like people say dramedy, but like I'm definitely like, you know, I like watching a good movie where it makes you think, it makes you feel.
Sure.
But in a lot of times there's funny things that happen situationally that maybe weren't supposed to be funny, but it is. So like, I don't know, to me, like I find humor in a lot of stuff. So everything's pretty much a dramedy. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, just The Godfather is probably it's just so there's so many perfect things in that movie. Just that's it.
Now I have a question. Okay, does everybody here? I mean, Vin, I know you've written some stuff, and Nick, you've written some stuff. Amy, have you written anything? No,
I'm just
that's okay. It's not a requirement. But
I had the idea that I gave to you with my hosting.
Yes, I do remember that, and we're going to do that. That's going to be great. Okay, but for the writers here, when you're writing, and I'll go to Jillian first. When you're writing, are you visualizing? Are you visualizing the actor playing the character? Or are you visualizing what this character, your imagination of what the character is? And then I'll ask Nick and Vin and the same question. And even from an acting perspective, I think it's a good question. do you always kind of look at the other actors without knowing what they look like, or do you have a vision of that in your head? So I'll start with Jillian from a writing perspective.
I mean, it depends, because I've written for theater where you just write and then you cast later. So like, I'm not writing for someone, but like when I write film, I'm writing it for me. Like the main character is like my voice. I don't like the other characters. I don't cast first, but I do have like a sense of what kind of actor I want. But I think it just depends, like what I'm writing, and I also like I feel like when I'm writing, I'm also like I want this to happen. So like, where is it set? How can I feasibly do this? Like I want it to be what I want, but I also want to be realistic and ahead of the game whenever it's done. Because I don't just want this thing written and never do it. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. How about you, for you, Nick? Do you think of the actor that's going to play that character?
When I write, there's a lot of visualization. When I write, I see it as I'm writing, and sometimes I almost like close my eyes and I see it developed, and then I'll write some stuff. And yeah, some of the characters, like my recent script, I'll think of an actor, and then I'm actually writing it based on that actor and how they perform and things that maybe they would say and things like that.
Yeah. How about you, Vin?
I try to figure out what I would do in that situation and then see how close it is to what that character would do. And if it's too far apart, then I would try to think of somebody I know who was like that character and figure out how they would feel in that kind of same situation, how they would react. Is that the question you asked?
No, that was the question, but I know that was the end of the end of the statement.
No, I was like, am I answering the right question?
And Alex, how about for you when you get a script? When you get a script, are you visualizing who you think without knowing who the other actors are? Are you visualizing it, or what are you doing with that?
Yeah, it's kind of the same as when I write, like Nick said, and it's I visualize what these characters are going to look like, unless you told me who's playing who. Like, I know Chris Rockwell was playing Joe, so I would visualize him when I was in my head and working on it. But yeah, I visualize what these characters might look like. I have my own image of them, and of course, you show up to set and they're all different actors that you don't see in the same way. But it helps. It helps. Just with the writing that you were mentioning. I visualize the not what they look like, just what the character is, what's written, who are they, what are they doing, what do they want, what's their essence, what are they trying to get in the worldly, like universally, what do they want, and then what do they want what do they want in the scene itself. So I see like what they are, and when I read my own role, I also kind of see myself, but not. I kind of see someone. It's weird. I see someone else as my character. What am I going to be? Who am I going to be? Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. How about you, Amy?
How do I do it? Oh gosh, I go Esper.
I mean, only two people.
Which is
technique, same as you.
Tell us how that works, Amy.
What's the scene about? How does my character feel? What's it like to me?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, a lot of the things, especially the stuff you write for me, is very much, me. So it's not really like.
I find I write. I mean, I wrote. I'm pointing at you, Jillian. I wrote Abby for you, but I gave you the option of which character that you wanted to play.
But you didn't tell me which part you wrote for me. You were like, read it and tell me
which character you wanted to play. But I wanted you to play Abby, so I was so happy when you.
And you told me that, yeah.
So I mean, and then as far as Nick, I always write for you. Like I might not even write. I'm writing a thing, and I'm like, oh, this is like a Nick thing, You know what I mean? Like I'll start immediately visualizing Nick, and obviously Chris, I write for you all the time. And now that I started working with Vin, I mean, like I didn't know what to really expect from you because I didn't, I know that you had done some the Richard Klein shit, so I didn't know if it was just like sitcom-y kind of shit. But then when you started acting and whatnot, and we put you on the page and whatnot, we started seeing it. I was like, you're great. So I wanted to write more meatier stuff for you guys. And like Alex, same thing for both you and Amy. Like I visualize you guys as I'm sort of writing those things. I'm always seeming to have something for Amy, for sure.
I love it. I love that you do that.
I'm always the mistress and the fun, like the.
I don't know.
You play it really well. It doesn't mean you are.
No. Put your hand down. Put your hand down.
I don't know. Just
bartender.
Just what? Yeah. Well, I think you know what I think about that. I will give you an actual answer to that question. I think you're comfortable playing anything. You don't have very many limitations to what might be thrown in front of you. So I think that I'm like, I can throw Amy in this and she's going to just rock it out. All right, Chris, you got another question? What do you got?
I do.
Sit down. Yeah.
Has anyone here done a casting call that has gone terribly wrong?
Good question. Wow. I mean, would you get this from a box of questions for actors?
Yeah, right.
Amy, I feel like you'll have an answer for that.
I missed the question. One more time.
Have you ever done a casting call that went completely wrong?
Oh, I got a good one. Oh my God. So years ago, I went to this casting and it was for a mixer, like one of those mixers, like a brand. I can't remember. It was like Black & Decker or something. Mm-hmm. And we go into the casting room and it's me and this guy. And it was in one of these old offices that doesn't even exist anymore. And the casting director, it was for a national commercial. And she goes, "Hey, how was your weekend? What did you guys do?" And I was like, "Hey, I walked my dog. We went to the park, blah, blah, blah." This guy goes, "I masturbated."
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That took a turn.
And I'm just sitting there going,
wow.
It like sucked all the air out of the room, and I was just like,
"Wait, was this the guy who was auditioning with you, or he was the one auditioning you?"
Auditioning with me.
Wow.
The one who was like, "Hey, what'd you do all weekend?" He's like, "I masturbated." I was like,
wow.
That would be the first thing I say when I walked in and be like, "I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. That guy out there just told me he masturbated all weekend. I don't know. My head's not really in it."
That's really crazy.
He did it when we were in the room before we even like slated. I was like,
wow.
I'm like, I'm gonna need a new person. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with that?
So
like,
you were.
Wait, move on from that.
Hands. You were doing that Corona deal then, even back then.
And it's hilarious because it literally was like a pin drop in the room, and it's something I've never forgotten ever since. I was just like,
wow. All right, let's go to.
I was like, what the?
Yeah, that's extreme. Jillian, what about you?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I've been to like some weird casting calls, but like the most recent one I had, it was kind of weird. It was for a commercial, and it was all improvised, which I'm like, great, it's my jam. And I go in with this girl who was like very afraid of improvisation. And it went fine. Like I just kept making stuff up, and she was just like very, like, where do I go? What do I say? What do I do? So like, because I was like excited to
out of the room. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like those are fun auditions to just like make stuff up with other improvisers, but she was not one. So, but it wasn't like a disaster, but for her maybe.
It's like when you go in for like a mom role and you get a kid that's a dud, and you're just like,
right. It's that when you're like, yeah, we're paired to someone who,
or like the baby won't stop crying. You're like.
It is interesting though about what Jillian just said about improv and people that don't like, because for me, I think I roll with improv. I think you need you need some of that sort of in the mix of it so it feels authentic, you know? So it's always weird to me when somebody doesn't know how to improv, you know?
Yeah, I haven't met someone quite so scared of it in a long time. And I'm not sure why she was there because it was a cast, like it was an improvised, the whole thing was
You knew what it
improvised.
was. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise.
Right.
But yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of new actors and like people that haven't been doing it in a while. They're like,
There's also sort of there's also, I don't know if you'll agree with this, Jillian, but there's also sort of a over improviser.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I got a friend like that. Whenever you're like improvising, you can't get a word in edgewise because he literally like takes over the whole thing.
That's not a good improviser.
But that's, I mean, right, exactly. Or I feel like they're not actually feeling the scene of what we're trying to accomplish here. You know what I mean? I feel like it becomes.
Well, I mean, you have to listen. You have to listen and yes and. You can't yes and not hearing what's happening.
Yeah,
Exactly. Alex, what is your take on that?
Which question are we on here?
Either the improv question.
How high are you right now?
Either the improv question or the either the improv question or the other question, the original casting call question.
Casting calls. I have for both. Improv question. I feel like every actor should have some sense of improv.
I think you're very good at improv, by the way. I'm gonna say that.
Thank you.
I think you're very good at that. Yeah.
You're so sweet.
Well, you can only get one of these a night, so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, casting call. This one really bummed me out. I just remembered it when you guys were talking about it. Verizon commercial. The pay was supposed to be $40,000 for a one-day shoot, and I was like, $40,000. I was like, I've never gotten paid that much for like any project, and I was like, awesome. And I memorized it at home, and I came in and I memorized it again, and I was like ready, and they threw me off completely because they're like, we want you to walk here, step here, say the line, walk here, step here, say the next line, walk back, say this line, and I fucked it all up really bad. I was just like, oh, it's only $49.99, and and every word just didn't come out. And then they're like, no, you have to step and say the line. I like stepped the wrong way and back, and I was like, they're like, okay, thank you so much. And I was like, fuck. Sucked.
Nick, how about you on that?
Well, one came to mind was actually last year, beginning of last year. I went and auditioned for an infomercial for a male enhancement drug. and when I was practicing or whatever, it was, standing up doing it. But when I got there, they wanted me to sit in this like ridiculous chair that looked like a velvet type of a chair and do it. And first off, I'm Italian to begin with, so I'm like moving, trying to improvise the way I was standing up. And he's like, put your hands down. I'm trying to talk about, how lousy I was in bed and this and that until I took the super pill and I was like, this and that and everything. And
stiffening up as a pun, or
what's that?
You said you were stiffening up, and I was like, wait, what?
And then she figures why she gets cast as this like typecaster.
I didn't say it. I just heard it.
Anyway, so I did get the part actually, and I never told a soul where it was going to be played because it was ridiculous.
Well, now we need to see it.
No one has ever seen it, man. No one. I'm not kidding.
Wait, was it for the red pill one?
Well, first
that
off,
one don't work.
I said, first off, how can you do an infomercial?
None of them work.
I said, how can you do an infomercial if you don't even try the product? I said, you had the product. They're like, no, we can't give you any. I'm like, all right.
Vin, what about you?
Yeah, one time I was at this audition, and this girl, she asked me what I did over the weekend, and I told her, and she got all freaked out about it. I don't know.
Full circle.
Way to bring it back around.
You totally missed that one, Chris. That was probably the best joke of the whole night. Missed it.
Yeah, he's all right.
I don't get it.
Oh, God.
Rewatch this.
Watch it back.
But about the improv, yeah, I mean, I think what Richard Klein always taught us acting is reacting.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And one of the best things he ever did was sit me down in front of somebody, which I wasn't really comfortable with, like in a room with. It would just, some people work and then some people don't. It just wasn't my type of person. And like we had to sit there and do that exercise where you say the thing and you repeat it back and forth.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called. And
wait, Jillian said
that really blew my mind. How like we could be saying the same stupid stuff and feeling different things and feeding off each other. I think that's more improv than anything else.
Yeah,
is like all acting is essentially improv. You're bouncing it off of the person you're working with.
That's really great. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to give you all a quick. We're going to wrap this up in a few here, but I want to give you all a chance to shout somebody out, mentor-wise, that really helped you along your way in your path of being an actor in some special way. So, Alex, since you look the most ridiculous, and this is a nice gratitude thing, I figured I'd go to you.
You want to say your name?
No, please. You don't have to say my. Whatever. Yeah.
Well, actually, now that we're here, it's true.
Please don't. Please don't do that.
No, I have to, Peter. I am. You don't understand. I text you all the time after a shoot, but I am so grateful for every role that you let me play in what you've written, and the experience I've gotten on every single thing that you've cast me in was tremendous.
Thank you.
So much fun, always funny, always something deeper than just what it on the surface. And I got a lot of experience from everything you've. I just want to do more with you, man.
Yeah, same, but we will. Thank you, and thank you for that. You didn't have to say me; it's not required. Please.
I know. I had to.
I appreciate it, though. Okay, yeah. Amy, go ahead and don't say me.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna say you.
Thank God. Yeah.
No, okay, who actually, so, because I do a lot of commercials, I took one class with this guy, he's a casting director, his name's Ken Laser, and I don't know if anybody knows him, but he actually taught me so many, like, of the little intricacies that you don't think about when you audition for commercials, and ever since I took a couple of his classes, I book things, like, nonstop. It's crazy. So he's definitely somebody that I hold in very high regard, as well as you, because you always put me in this. And, you let me do whatever I want when I'm on set.
Yeah. Yes. Jillian, how about you? Thank you.
I don't feel like I had like one mentor, but in thinking about the question, I think mostly like when I moved to New York and when I like took comedy classes and all the comedy stuff I've done, like the women who have been like teachers or like seeing other, because there's so many dudes in comedy, and you're usually like it's just of women. So I feel like those teachers that I'm thinking of were an inspiration. But I do want to say also, thank you for putting me in this film, because I didn't know you, like you didn't know me, and I feel like that's great and nice.
So much appreciated. You did not have to say that, but thank you. But I mean,
I was thinking that before, like you guys all like know each other or knew each other. I know you now.
Totally. Well, I don't remember even how I found you. Maybe I'm backstage or something like that.
Yeah, I looked because someone asked me, and I was like, I don't remember. So I looked in my messages, and it was backstage.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but I was like, I was looking for something else and whatever. Okay, Nick, how about you?
I get pretty choked up actually, but Pete,
oh god damn it,
you man,
no, thank ridiculous. Thank God.
Tell the story of how you found me.
I found Amy on a car commercial, and I was casting something, and I just knew that she was perfect for it, and I said I have to find her, so I stalked her, and then I called the company that did the car commercial, and they would not give me her info, and then Clark was like, let me help find it, and he just like Googled. I don't know what the fuck he Googled, but you popped right up. And I was like, oh, fuck, what the fuck? No, that is her. Yeah, that's her. Anyway, Nick, in all sincerity, who do you got?
I mean, there's a lot of people really that helped me and influenced, one, my college acting professor. He's the one that really had a lot of faith in me. And I kept telling me, you got to go to New York. You got to go to New York and this and that and everything. But there's just a lot of people. I mean, every project I'm involved in, there's definitely people there that I respect and look up to. I try and learn from everyone. And I don't know, like I said earlier, man, I'm just a sponge, I look at everybody. And even in regular life, like in the supermarket, I walk around, I look at people and I go, what an interesting character. I look at what they do and, things like that. So
that's great.
But it's you. It's you, though.
Vin, how about you?
Well, definitely you, Pete.
Oh,
but
not why I
before I get to you, first and foremost.
Jesus fuck.
Before I get to you, first and foremost is Christopher Rockwell.
Nice.
My
man,
that's
a good answer.
He was just ultimately just a real friend about the whole deal. I'm like, hey man, I got to do this. I just want to do this so bad. I just don't know how to start or where to start. He sent me the links of the Richard Klein class. He said, do this. And then he said, hey man, if ever I'm in something, I'm going to try to get you in there. And I promise. And he held true to his word and he introduced me to you.
Sure.
And I think now, Pete, me and you are friends. I mean, I think we hit it off tremendously, but maybe it wasn't for Chris introducing us or him. Some people are like, hey, that guy, he might be okay. But fuck him. I want nothing to do with him. You know what I mean? Like there's only one part for one person, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But Chris was not like that at all. He was very, 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 very helpful. Like stupid questions he asked. When you don't know anything, you don't know anything.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a stupid question, right, Chris?
That's right. And then he got handsy with me at one time, and it was really awkward. He got really gropey.
Yeah, that happened to me too with Chris.
It happened with you too?
These stories are coming out.
It happened too?
Me too.
God, we really don't need that. Hey, Chris, how about your answer on that? And
wait, hold on, Pete. I didn't get to you yet.
No, I'm gonna skip it. I don't even want to hear it. Chris, what is your answer to that? And don't please don't say me, but I know that you might.
Oh my God, you're gonna get a head.
I think mentor-wise, if I had to go outside of the people that are actually in the industry, I would have to go.
Why is he talking like that?
I don't know.
I guess I would have to go with my brothers. My brothers always found me pretty entertaining, and they always just said, "Hey, you're entertaining." So I would definitely thank them for being my mentors. And then there's Pete. And
thank you.
Pete's been very very aggressive and forward thinking when it comes to me acting and stuff like that. So yeah,
not why
my brothers and you as well, sir.
Yeah, I would also agree with Vin's answer about Chris. Definitely, I will shout Clark Mayer out as the person who said you should really do more film. I will even shout Katie Borough out for the writing aspect. She was very strong influence. And my high school acting people, Dr. Schmiedak, I think is his name.
I would also say Jesus. Jesus is definitely a good factor.
Anyway, guys, I've been doing this gratitude thing, so that's why I let you all have an opportunity to say that. You did not have to say me, but I wanted to say.
Well, you cut me off. I tried to say you, and you cut me off, and I didn't even get to my speech about you yet. That was
Not
wrong.
necessary, buddy. Not necessary. But I
That
wanted
was
to
wrong.
thank all of you for participating in the Boys Club, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you in your own way. Alex, you are always there and always entertaining. Nick, I'm so happy that we met on that show. I really enjoy just picking up and having old school phone calls with you. Vin, I'm so happy that Chris introduced us. I think we've got a good future together of working on many things. Chris, obviously, I said a lot of gratitude yesterday, so you only get one a night. And one a week. Amy, thank you so much for everything, all the projects and all that stuff. I really, really appreciate it. Going to Montauk with me just at random. And Jillian, I'm super excited to work with you. I think you always bring your A game and professionalism to everything that you do, and you're very funny. I know you're a comedian. So thank you. I thank all of you guys for doing this. And this was fun. We should do it again sometime.
Yeah,
Thank you, Pete.
for having
All right.
me.
Later, guys.
Good night, guys.
All right.